Hello friends. Hi. You happy? Staying safe at home? So friends, welcome to Biju Guys Teaching Cafe. Friends, this video lecture is different one. I'm going to talk about an interesting thing which you may like because you want to fly beyond your undergraduate B.Ed degree programs. I think so. So the title of the lecture is How to Crack Political Science Entrances of Premier Educational Institutions. You like it? So friends, welcome. So you imagine a situation that you are attending the orientation classes of MA Political Science after a BA degree program, and you all have ambition to get admission in prestigious premier education institutions in India such as central universities or IITs or IIMs or other institutions where social science courses are being offered at higher studies level. But we have so many enterprising and studious, very brilliant undergraduate students in our places, but the problem is that they get good marks in the university examination, they are toppers, but they are not able to get admission in premier education institutions. That means there is some problem. So this lecture is going to remind you what is the problem and how to overcome these problems in your life, in your academic life. You find it interesting? So friends, and in the orientation program of your MA program, you imagine your university is one of the best in India. Delhi University or Hyderabad Central University or Jawaharlal Nehru University or Ashoka University, a private institution, Jindal. As you look on, you happen to see that the students introducing themselves and they also acknowledge the education institutions where they have done their undergraduate programs. As you look on, what you're going to see is that there are students from Miranda House, there are students from Lady Sri Ram Presidency, St. Stephen's, Ferguson, Loyola. As you look on, you also see their universities. There's somebody tell that they're from Christ University, Delhi University, Pune University, Banaras Hindu University, Jadavpur University, Jamia Millia, and so on. As you look on, when your professor is going to take lecture on political theory or political philosophy or political thought, you imagine your classmates are also talking about Nietzsche, Michel Foucault, Jacques Derrida, Isaiah Berlin, Hannah Arendt, Giorgio Agamben. None of these you might have come across in your undergraduate programs, right? So as you look on, you found that in your classroom, in your peer group, you found that there are published authors, there are poets, writers, employed people with amazing and great creativity, people with extreme talents and extremely talented and very smart. There are good readers, book lovers, and amazing people in your peer group. That day, friends, you realize that you are an odd man out because you are in a very strong peer group. So when you get admission in premier education institutions in India, you will be exposed to so many amazing things which you may not have seen in the place where you have done your undergraduate program. So the skill sets are different. What is your weak point in getting admission in such premier institutions I mentioned a while ago is that you have a very strong and inspiring peer group. That is the first and very important thing you have to keep in mind when you do an undergraduate program. You try to develop a very inspiring peer network. The institution where you did your undergraduate program may not expose you to so many amazing and inspiring things. There won't be good reading culture among your peer group. There won't be good career ambition among your peer group. There won't be even an inspiring peer network at all. So you may have a peer network that will be part of pastime generation. They are roaming here and there. They are roaming around the campus, talking to people and making relationships, gossiping so much about everything under the sky. These kinds of network, you learn nothing in your life. It can never inspire you. Do some amazing things in your life. You can just waste while away time. That is the only thing you can do from these kinds of peer networking or peer circles. So make sure that you have a very powerful peer network from whom you have to learn a lot. So network with peers that inspires you is very important, because you should have a hard working and ambitious network that inspires you to do amazing things. So there are peers that simply have dreams. Of course, we meet so many people, peers, they have dreams, but what is their problem? They just simply do lip service, that they say this and that, they want to do this thing or they want to do that thing. But the problem is that they are not able to save time for their ambition or dreams. They never push their goals, their dreams. That is a problem. There are so many people I have seen personally that they are talking about this and that. They want to go abroad. They want to get admission in premier education institutions. But what is their problem? They never invest time for that. They simply walk here and there and waste time. You should never get trapped into these kinds of peer network. So these peers are very important. Peer network is important. So try to make sure that you never get trapped into an uninspiring, a bad peer network. First point. Second point, friends, if you want to get admission in a prestigious education institution in India, you should master in some basic skills expected of a social science student. What is that? You should develop the language of your subject. If you are a student of political science, you should develop the language of political science. How to think different, unlike your peers. That is very important. You have to set up a mind which tries to see things in a different way, unlike most of your peers. So, by thinking differently, one day you should surprise all of your peers. You won't get these skills from the syllabus you study in your undergraduate program. Your university syllabus is just a system, that tests your memorizing ability. This is an important point to remember, that you should never trust your university syllabus. That is just, you are all talented people. You have very good marks in schools and you know how to qualify in a university degree program in their examination. It's not a big deal at all, friends. You are extremely talented. You know how to study well. But the point is that, never trust your university system, because your university syllabus is just an exam-oriented syllabus. It doesn't give you any kind of skills that are expected of a social science student who are going to attend and crack entrances of a premier education institutions in India. Right. So the university syllabus may be outdated. It won't give you the skills required to crack the central university examination or a premier education institution. That said, you should know how to collect right study material, how to prepare for competitive examination. It's a very important skill, friends. Most of our people don't have this skill. You should know how to avoid the lecture notes dictated by your favorite professor in your undergraduate classes. Undergraduate classes, you are in higher studies. You should never depend the lecture notes of your professors. Professors give you lecture notes just in view of helping you attend the university examination. But central university entrances or other competitive examinations are very different. Right. So an undergraduate student who extremely depend the teachers for lecture notes, and in undergraduate system where teachers who dictate lecture notes are very bad. These two people are very bad for me, because if you depend unnecessarily your teachers for lecture notes, you never learn an important skill, self-learning or self-sufficiency. You should be able to do things your own. If you don't master in these kinds of skill, that doing self-doing, you should be self-doing. If you don't have this skill, what is going to happen is that one day you will be a parasite who unnecessarily depend everybody around you. Right. You should never be a person like that. Your undergraduate program is not meant to make you a parasite. It is meant to make you a person who is able to do things. You are able to finish a task within time. You are an enterprising person. So this is just a crap if you depend, your undergraduate lecture notes of professors. Waste, total waste. Don't depend them unnecessarily because their notes are just for university marks. Right, it won't help you for entrances. Read more. Have basic skills of a social science student must in pushing your dreams ahead. Second skill. And friends, third skill. It's indispensable that a good student of political science or a good student of social science in general know the basic concepts and theories upon which social science functions. Right. Sometimes your university degree course wouldn't have these course contents. Sometimes your university course doesn't carry forward those ideas, those concepts upon which modern day social sciences functions. It will have some skeleton, a skeleton, and you read some notes or some concepts and qualify your undergraduate program. That's all. But it doesn't mean that you have come across all the things in social sciences. So and it doesn't warrant that sometimes your university course wouldn't have these course contents, but it doesn't warrant that it is okay, I need not to read all these things. Not at all, friends. During your undergraduate days, you need to have some grips on some key concepts upon which your social science courses function, let alone political science. For example, you should have some grips on the ideas I am going to tell you, which your course syllabus may not have any kind of references. For example, modernism, modernity, postmodernity, structuralism and post-structuralism, public sphere theories of Jürgen Habermas and others, civil society theories, Giorgio Agamben, an Italian philosopher, and his theories, his books, various theories of democracy, social capital of Robert Putnam, end of history thesis of Francis Fukuyama, clashes of civilization of Samuel P. Huntington, Hannah Arendt and her book, Eichmann in Jerusalem, and on human condition, and several other books. And there are so many very relevant social theorists of contemporary era. They have contributed enormously to social sciences upon which your social science degree, social science courses or social science system functions these days. Who are them? Charles Taylor, Leo Strauss, Michel Foucault, Jürgen Habermas, Jean-Paul Sartre, Roland Barthes, Sheldon Walling, Leo Strauss, Michel Foucault, Jürgen Habermas, Alasdair MacIntyre, Antonio Negri, Michael Walzer, Robert Nozick, Judith Butler. These are few of them. You should read all these authors. At least you go to Google, search for a bio of these scholars, writers, and you can find their prominent books and key concepts. You need not to read all these things, but you should know who said what and what is it. This is a third important skill. And friends, our fourth important skill. Try to know some basic theories in political science and social sciences generally. That said, there are good theories in sociology, women's studies, anthropology, economics. Come across these some of the basic social science concepts across disciplines, social science disciplines. Start reading fundamental theories in Dalit studies, women's studies, caste studies, population studies, and so on. Read the original books of Ambedkar. For example, who wrote Annihilation of Caste? Ambedkar. Who wrote Buddha and Dhamma? Ambedkar. So you should know how Ambedkarite literature has been popularized and extended to a new level by some other writers like Anand Tadmunde, and you read Anand Tadmunde and his books. So you read some fundamental books in political theory and political philosophy. Reading is the only way. If you don't read at this age, you are in 20s. If you don't read at this age, you will never be able to read in your 30s and 40s. Friends, this is the right age for reading. So your reading at this age is foundation for reading in 30s, 40s and 50s. Throughout your life, you should invest your time for reading. Don't ever get another important, fifth point you should keep in mind: don't ever get in the company of so many uninspiring people. Go to your home or hostel room, read. So study. Make writing a habit. It polishes your fringe thoughts into a finite idea. One day you should be able to translate the emotions in your mind into an English word. That is an important skill, friend. Most of the people in social sciences are unable to write well. Why? Social science basically functions upon the words, functions upon lexicon. It have got a language, and you should develop that language. It got a finite language, finite vocabularies. You are not a good student of social science until and unless you are not able to write well. That is, one day you should be able to translate your emotions into vocabularies. That day you will realize that you have become a wordsmith. Friends, start writing, publish your ideas. But another very important point, but you should also know the basic ideas of political science. If you really want to get through the entrances of prestigious educational institutions, and their entrances are conducted at the national level, try get the following books I am going to tell you. And you read these books, and not simple read, labored reading. Make notes. Notes in the sense that gives you so much factual information, such as who, what, when, where, and how. So, for example, you should have a copy of these books. It's a very important. These are the very books, important books upon which your BA program runs, and not only your BA program, your entrances, question paper setters of your entrances will depend these books. Political Theory by O.P. Gauba. Indian Government and Politics by B.L. Fadhia. Indian Constitution by Lakshmi Gant. That's a very famous book for civil service aspirants. Political Thought from Plato to Marx by Subrata Mukherjee and Sushila Ramasamy. Comparative Politics by S.N. Ray. India's Foreign Policy by Sumit Ganguly. Political Sociology, a Critical Introduction by Kesith Fox. World Constitution, a Comparative Study by Vidya Bhagavan and Vishnu Bhushan. International Relations for Civil Service Examinations by Pavaneet Singh. That's depended by civil service aspirants. Indian Political Thought by S.P. Verma. Public Administration, Concepts and Theory by Rumki Basu. These are very important books. Friends, buy these books from Amazon or other bookstores nearby you. Collect notes or take some photocopies, because your peers at the national level had already gone through these books. You are competing with them. Getting prepared for entrances is not that simple, friends. It's not that simple. You cannot go beyond your BA degree program if you are not investing your time, if you are not using your time fruitfully, if you are not, well focused. It's not that simple. For example, when you getting prepared for the entrances, it's not that simple. As I told you, you can expect questions like who said which concept, who wrote which book, and who said what is that particular concept, something like that, some factual question. But it doesn't mean that entrances are always factual questions. There are some complicated questions, because for example, when you read Clashes of Civilization, you shouldn't confine only to who wrote what. That Samuel P. Huntington wrote Clashes of Civilization, but you should also know the content. You should know what Samuel P. Huntington said about Christianity, what he said about Islam and other kinds of cultures. Or if you read End of History by Francis Fukuyama, you should never confine only to who wrote what. You should know the content of that book, and you should know what Francis Fukuyama said about Hegel, what Francis Fukuyama said about Karl Marx, and what Francis Fukuyama said about the idea of history. And according to Fukuyama, what is history of Karl Marx and what is history of Hegel, George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. So that way, that means you should know why that is said and how that is said. Not only what is it and who wrote what and who said what. You should never confine only to who said what and what is that kind of understanding. You should know how and why that was said. So when you prepare intelligently. Intelligent hard work is very important, friends. So, friends, go ahead of all your peers. Never try to follow your peers. You should try to make your peers follow you. You need to work hard. So work hard. Don't waste time. Don't give too much importance to unnecessary people and unnecessary things in life. Don't waste your energy. Don't spoil your time and energy. Stay focused, please. Hate to fail in career and academics. You should have that motto in life. Hate to fail. So friends, I have, for example, I myself had prepared 4,500 political science questions in a question bank. It includes all basic concepts which fall under an undergraduate program. Attending these questions will help you develop some basic skills in attending entrances and competitive examination. So attending mock test is very important. That's why I prepared 4,500 questions and I used to help my students. So not only that, you go to National Testing Agency website. There are mock test for UGC, mock test for some other kinds of entrances, and you attend all these things. You should prepare not only for PG entrances but also for JRF and other kinds of examinations. So you will be exposed to these kinds of things. So go to the websites of premier education institutions and download question paper and attend it and find out the key and know which are your strong area, which are your weak area. So, but friends, that isn't enough alone for your dreams. For your dreams, you should work more. You should have some other plans, which is your unique plan. So your unique plan will help you go ahead of everybody. Thank you. Bye. Hi. Thank you for watching the lecture.